You've seen it happen over and over again. An NBA team gets to the edge of glory, one win away from advancing. The crowd is ready, the momentum is there, everything is lined up perfectly, and then, somehow, they find a way to lose. Not once, not twice, but again and again throughout NBA history. So today we're asking the question nobody wants to answer honestly: why do NBA teams always choke when they're one win away? And the brutal truth might surprise you, because this isn't just history, this is happening right now. In the 2026 playoffs, we've already seen teams push to the edge after being in total control, including the Boston Celtics building a 3-1 lead and suddenly finding themselves dragged into a Game 7 battle by the Philadelphia 76ers. This isn't bad luck, this is a pattern. And today we're breaking it down. You're watching The Sports Verdict Daily, where we break down the biggest stories in American sports and give you the final call. Let's get into today's verdict. The pattern that never changes. Here's the first thing you need to understand. This isn't rare. This happens every single playoff season. Every year, at least one team gets to the edge, one win away, and collapses under pressure. And the data backs it up. Across NBA history, teams with a 3-1 lead have blown that lead multiple times. Not once, not twice, multiple times. And every single time it happens, fans react the same way: shock, disbelief, confusion. But it shouldn't be surprising anymore, because statistically, closing out a series is harder than getting to the position in the first place. Teams don't always win the first game where they have a chance to advance. In fact, many series extend precisely because that final step becomes the hardest one to take. Think about that. The easiest games to win are often the ones when nothing is on the line. The hardest game? The one that ends it all. And that's why the real question in the NBA playoffs is never if a team will choke, it's which team will choke. The psychology behind the choke. Now let's get to the real reason this happens, and it has nothing to do with talent. It's psychological. Reason 1, the pressure shift. When a team is one win away, everything flips. The team with the lead suddenly has everything to lose. The team facing elimination? They have nothing to lose. That changes everything. The desperate team plays free, aggressive, fearless. The leading team plays tight, cautious, afraid of making mistakes. And in the NBA, hesitation is fatal. Reason 2, overthinking. Elite athletes are at their best when they don't think, they react. Muscle memory, instinct, flow. But the moment a player starts thinking, we're one win away, everything slows down, shots get tighter, passes get safer, decisions take longer, and suddenly, a team that dominated for 4 games looks completely different in the 5th, because they're not playing to win anymore, they're playing not to lose. Reason 3, the opponent's desperation. A team facing elimination doesn't play normal basketball. They play like every possession is their last, because it is. They dive for loose balls. They contest every shot. They push the pace. They take risks. That level of intensity is almost impossible to match if you're even slightly comfortable, and that's the difference. Desperation versus comfort. Desperation usually wins. Reason 4, complacency. This is the most dangerous one, because it's subtle. When a team knows they have multiple chances to close out a series, their urgency drops just a little. Not enough to notice, but enough to matter. And in the NBA playoffs, a 5% drop in intensity is the difference between winning and losing. That's all it takes. The greatest chokes in NBA history. Now let's talk about the moments that prove this isn't theory. It's reality. Start with the most famous collapse of all time, the 2016 Golden State Warriors, the greatest regular season team ever, 73 wins, up 3-1 in the NBA Finals, 1 win away from cementing the greatest season in basketball history, and they lost 3 straight. To LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, if a team that dominant couldn't close it out, what does that tell you? Then look at the Houston Rockets in the modern era, loaded with talent, superstars leading the way, every advantage you could ask for, and still, when the pressure hit, they couldn't finish the job, because talent doesn't protect you from pressure. Nothing does. Go further back and you'll find more examples. Teams in control, teams one win away, teams that looked unstoppable until they weren't. And now bring it back to today. The Boston Celtics in 2026, up 3-1, complete control. And suddenly, doubt, pressure, momentum shifting. A series that should have been over turning into a fight for survival. This isn't history repeating itself. This is history continuing. The teams that got it right. Now here's where it gets interesting, because not every team chokes. Some teams figure it out. Take the 2017 Golden State Warriors. After blowing that 3-1 lead the year before, they came back stronger, sharper, more focused, and closed everything. No hesitation, no doubt. What changed? They learned. Then there's the 2014 San Antonio Spurs, one of the most composed teams in NBA history. No panic, no overthinking, just execution. They didn't treat closeout games as something special. They treated them like just another game. And that's the difference, because the teams that close don't feel the moment. They ignore it. They trust their system. They trust each other. And they play the same way they've played all season. No fear, no hesitation, just basketball. And that's the brutal truth most fans don't want to hear. The difference between choking and closing isn't talent. It's mindset. Closing verdict. So here's the final call. Every NBA team believes they won't be the one that chokes. Every fan base believes their team is mentally stronger than the rest. But the truth doesn't care about belief. The NBA playoffs don't reward confidence. They reward execution when everything is on the line, and until a team learns to treat their most important game like their most ordinary one. The choke will always be there, waiting, just one win away. If you made it this far, you already know the deal. Subscribe to the Sports Verdict Daily, hit the bell, and you'll get the call on every major story in sports. Drop your take in the comments. Why do you think teams choke? And which team is next? I'll see you tomorrow, same time, next verdict.